Okay, so I was asking the guardians what rules the dog has, and in this case, he has a couple of rules. But we certainly can add more and provide a little bit of structure. The more structure a dog has, the more it identifies as being a follower, which means it's going to listen to you and respect you a little bit more. Now, we have a lab that doesn't show much respect for personal space. And one of the questions I asked was, does he nudge and stick his nose underneath when he wants attention? And I watched him do it a couple times, so I knew he did it. Now, sometimes he gets petted when he does that. Now, it sounds like because we have a baby in the house, that's happening less and less often because he's doing it the wrong times. The problem with with petting him like that, anything a dog is doing when we pet it is what we're agreeing with. So if a dog nudges me and tells me to pet him and I pet him, not only am I agreeing with that scenario, which is the dog can tell me what to do, and I validate that it can tell me what to do because I do it, but it kind of gives the dog the impression that it has even more authority. So next time he nudges you, what I would suggest you do, because I consider petting a dog our way of compensating or paying them, pay him for doing what you want. So next time he nudges you, instead of petting him, tell him to sit. As soon as he sits, reach under his chin and pet him and say the word sit. Don't say, good dog, oh, what a good boy, you sat down. Most people talk way too much to their dogs. I don't know if we do any baby talk because we have a baby in the room right now, but a lot of times people, they're like, sit, and the dog sits, like, oh, what a good boy, you sat, was a good sitter. Dogs can hear inflection. And so if we say sit or we say, oh, sit, it sounds like a completely different command for the dog. The baby's liking my inflection right now. So we want to be very consistent and also not use extra words. Good dog is one of the most overused words for dogs, and it means absolutely nothing to the dog. It knows that you're happy, but you can imply that you're happy by adding a little sugar in your voice. Sit, something like that. But if we say good dog when it sits, when it comes, when it lays down, when it's just sunbathing, when it eats its food, when it poops, it means everything, so it means nothing. So when a dog sits, I pet it and say the word sit. When it lays down, I pet it and say the word down. When it comes to me, I pet it and say the word here or come, whatever your command word is. After a while, what will happen is the dog is, instead of nudging you, the dog's going to come and sit in front of me and saying, look, I'm sitting. Shouldn't you be petting me? And we should as much as we can. Now, if we're breastfeeding or we're changing poopy diapers or we're working or whatever, we don't always have to do it. But if we don't do it enough, then eventually the dog will go back to nudging and scratching because that's what used to work. After a while, you won't even think about it. You'll just use a hand motion to put the dog into a sit, and as soon as he sits, you pet him, and you can have a conversation. So the dog comes over here, I say sit, and then I continue having my conversation here. I have two separate conversations at the same time. I'm going to show you how you use a hand motion. Come here, buddy. From his perspective, this looks like I have something in my hand. So if I want him to sit, now, over here, what I go is like this. Sit. So just by raising my hand in kind of a crescent shape over their head with the dog's anatomy, that puts him in a sit, and then I reach down and I start petting him under his chin. Now the reason I pet him under here is because when a dog feels good about what it's done, its nose is parallel to the ground or elevated. And I want him to feel good about doing things we want him to do. Sit. Now, because he did that, I'm guessing he does this a lot, puts his paw on top of you. That's a control move. So as soon as he does that, stop petting him. The way to stop it is if his paws are on the ground like this and you're petting it, scratching him here, as soon as this is how far he should lift up his paw when you retract your hand. Most people wait until the dog comes like this and then they stop petting. So the sooner you can get to the action, the better. I tell my clients you have a window of 3 seconds to either reward the dog or correct the dog for them to make the connection. If it's longer than that, they don't know what it was. Petting with a purpose is probably the easiest thing that will give you the most bang for your buck. And if you spend a week or two really being diligent about not petting the dog for any other reason unless it sits or comes or lays down, after a while you get in a habit and you'll do it for the rest of your dog's life, and every time you do it, it's a mini dog obedience training session that helps the dog build up more respect for you, because we're introducing a concept of you have to earn attention and praise from me, and the currency is obedience. That's petting with a purpose.